ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the year of 2021, as my first clip of the year will be with Philip Lee and Just Train Insanity, as we check out these CN units that are sitting here at the 3-runner here in Brunswick, Maryland, getting ready to go eastbound towards Baltimore, Maryland, carrying nothing but crude oil and ethanol within its tank cars, as we have 2 CN locomotives in the lead, followed by 2 CSX locomotive AC-44 CWs that will also go into Baltimore and terminate there. Now, the first day of 2021 was pretty extraordinary, just rail fanning with Philip Lee and Just Train Insanity. We caught some pretty unusual catches, as well as some fabulous catches of old time's sake. Well, in my sake at least. The first train that'll come through is Amtrak PO30 Capital Limited. Now, this will be the first time in months after I moved I've seen any kind of Amtrak unit, or even locomotive or logo itself, on any given railroad. So, after seeing my first Amtrak within literally 6 months, Just Train Insanity and I decided to head west towards Shenandoah Junction, see what we could catch there for the rest of the evening, and to my surprise, traffic was pretty busy. We even had to miss one train to go catch another, but where's the fun in that, right?
I heard the NS speaking on the radio, so possibility we're going to get an over-under.
Oh, okay. I wonder the southbound took off yet.
Not sure. Sometimes I've actually seen them pull in, and they put them ahead of the southbound so they'll stop, and then dispatch will actually give them a signal indication to go up north, so it just depends.
Now, if this was on BNSF territory, this would be pretty much a Q train.
A Q or key train?
Q.
Look, there's some hazardous material. Corrosive, poisonous.
3002. Let me look that up. That's hazmat, dangerous goods.
Yeah, definitely. Oh look, a new set of FEC wells.
Yeah, they've been coming a lot west recently.
But FEC is that Florida East Coast.
Yeah, 3002, right?
Oh yeah, look, see, he's leaving. Richard, he's leaving. You want to quickly go up there, or do you think we won't make it?
Yeah, let's go up there.
Let's see if we can make it before he leaves.
Take a risk.
Take the risk.
Take a risk.
Alright, I think I'll probably go up the pavement side. That'll be a little bit less bumpy and stuff.
Right.
Bye, Chen.
Oh, highly toxic.
Highly toxic?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm surprised that actually came down the Met.
Guy 151, poisonous, toxic substance. This is pesticide.
Ugh. Pesticide is also pretty flammable.
Yep. Is corrosive, is poisonous.
Alright, so I'm pacing this guy right now. He's going 3. He's going very slow. The speed limit on this is like
Just whatever, because it's just a back road.
It's been raised. It's like this, the speed limit through Shen.
Oh shit! There goes the northbound.
Oh shit!
I
can circle around. I can get up. We can probably try and get it up at Luther Jones.
Trying to race him?
Yeah, actually, when it's raining now. Oh, it's 2:27. So if we can get up to the crossing. We can see what manifest he has. Oh, that's just fucking cheap right there.
So they're probably gonna meet him at Morgan and Shepherd.
This depends.
That's what I'm thinking.
If 227 can get going fast enough, they'll probably take him all the way up to Hagerstown
Is that
before.
bald eagle?
No, that
skunk?
was. Yep, that was a skunk. Ew. Yuck.
It wasn't me.
No, that was freshly killed.
Very nice.
If by nice you mean putrid, then I agree.
Scarcasm.
Oh, look, there's the manifest. Oh, there's some good stuff on it, I can see. Oh, last time when I saw this happen, 227 went to PTC suppression. Tire train took like 4 minutes to go out, or to get out of the siding.
AX, that's a Canadian company. AQX, Canadian. Milwaukee Road. No hazmat.
Oh, so very short today.
Not too bad.
Believe me, 227's been way longer since you've been here.
I bet. A chinchilla.
I thought you said a... I'm not gonna lie, I thought you said a shit chilla. No, no, you don't.
No, 8 for Shenandoah Junction.
This sounded like 11Z.
11Z.
Yeah. It's either 11Z or 15T. It was really, oh, Norfolk and Western.
W Hopper.
That's good to see. If you want a really rare one, you gotta look for Clinchfield. So yeah, it's manifest meeting manifest here.
Right.
I love the crisp quality on this phone. Like, oh, here we go. What are these?
LWAK. 1805 corrosive. What's that? Oh, here we go. What was number 1805? Right behind him.
227. It was the one going north.
Okay.
after an awesome day of watching trains here on the first day of 2021, I decided that one day was just not enough. And so I called up Train Sandy for the next day to have him pick me up at one of my family members' house just so we go rail fanning yet again. This time adding 2 more people. Western Maryland guy, as well as Chris F. Railfan, one of my 2 crew members of the Rail 9 crew, as we go to Point of Rex, Maryland, see what we can catch. Not much action, but the fun and the friendship was really, really there that day. Well, after an awesome New Year's I spent with my friends and family back here in Washington, D.C., aka North Virginia, it's time to head home. Not my actual home, but the home where I'm living at right now, back in Tulsa. So I decided to make the trip back really, really interesting, and you'll see as we go around. Before we board the flight, I decided to give you a little tour of Washington Dulles International on the same route that I took every single day in between flights or when I was just grabbing something to eat at Washington Dulles back in the day. We first by taking the train from the main terminal, or the Z gates, down to the B gates. What's at the B gates, you ask? A whole lot of stuff. Before Chick-fil-A was even a thing here at Dulles International Airport, I used to come to the A and the B gates to go to one restaurant. Can you guess what it is? If you guess Payway, you're correct. I used to get Chinese food at Payway every single day. Just 2 small wonton soups and just a white rice and some chicken and broccoli every once in a while, and sometimes a fortune cookie if I'm feeling good enough for it. I'll usually sit there for about 45 to an hour, just eating my lunch, reflecting on my operation that I performed with the United Express, United Airlines mainline, as well as some international aircraft that are operated, like Air France, Virgin Atlantic, Scandinavian, Lufthansa, etc. We're here at Bravo 64, taking a look at Dulles International Airport's main terminal. I'll always miss that design of the main terminal, as well as the ground tower. Fun fact, did you know that that tower is the ground control of Washington Dulles International? And yes, unfortunately is now a monument, so which means the tower is now closed to all available personnel, including employees, as well as the public. The tower will never be used again, but it will always stand in our hearts as a monument. However, the building below it, which is the main terminal's architectural structure, will always remain the way it is. So here in the next clip, I decided to walk you down through the hallways and the aisle that you see here at the A and the B gates, as we go back to ride the train. To the immediate right where you saw the gate, that's where Chipotle used to be. It's still there, but due to COVID-19, it's no longer there. The only thing that was really open is Capitol Grounds Coffee, which is a coffee place and a breakfast grub area, to where you get all kinds of great breakfast and snack items. We then go to the B gates downstairs, as you can see one of the gliders that Washington Dulles International has put up for display for all to see throughout the train. What is up, guys? This is Strange Productions here, aka one of your Token Brothers, Richard Ogle. Welcome back to another wonderful episode I have you guys in store today. Now, this is going to be a special episode for a few reasons. We're going to check out a new hub for United Airlines, which is one of my first destinations of this particular place, and we'll be flying a very special aircraft that is very, very dear to me. It'll be my first time ever flying it, and we'll go ahead and go over our itinerary, as I'm walking down our steps to catch the train here. Now, we're going to fly from Washington Dulles to Chicago O'Hare. Then we're going to go Chicago O'Hare to Denver. And this is my first time ever going to Denver. And then we're going to Denver to Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have 2 layovers. Again, they're in Chicago, ORD, and Denver, DEN. And the reason I'm doing that is because between Chicago and Denver will be the first time ever I fly a Boeing 777. This will be a 200 series, and this will be my first ever flight on any 777, and so we will go check that out. Once we're in Chicago, they'll be waiting for us as we arrive at O'Hare, and we'll have about 2.5 hours to go explore Chicago, see what there is to offer. But right now, I'm at Washington Dulles International, KIAD, or IAD for the IATA codes, and our flight's going board here in about 30 minutes, so we're pretty much right on time. My first advice is when you get into the airport, you want to go to departures, right? And then right after, you want to go to we'll go to ticket counter to check in your bags, make sure your reservation itinerary is good, your seats are all selected, etc. And you need to go to the ticket counter of your airline. You can't just go to any airline to check it out. You gotta go to your specific airline. So today, I'm flying United, because I love United. It's one of my favorite airlines. And then you'll go through security. And then when you go through security, if you know the airport very well, you can kind of time everything, but you should always be at the airport at least within 2 hours before your departure time. So my departure time is 11:15 Eastern Standard Time this morning. So you want to be at the airport, let's say, at 9:15, maybe a little bit earlier, and get some breakfast, check it out. I just got some breakfast at one of my favorite places when I used to work here, Capitol Grounds Coffee. And so far, everything's good. I had my breakfast here on time. Matter of fact, I got to go to different terminals to explore. Let's go do this.
Please hold on. The train is departing. Next stop is the main terminal for baggage, flying ground transportation and connection to
Taking one more deep breath here at Washington Dulles International Airport, basically taking in the air of where my whole career and my whole job choices of the aviation industry began, which again was right here at Washington Dulles International. So as I take everything in one more time, I reflect on all the memories that I made with all my friends, family, and just everybody back in Virginia. And again, I want to say thank you to everybody for making those memories turn into a career and a fantastic lifestyle that I deeply enjoy to this day. We ride the train to the C and D gate, which takes about 10 minutes, so because I have so many videos of me on the train, I decided not to record the entire segment. So we're now arriving at the main terminal to pick up the passengers that go into the A, B, C, and the D gates. Even though we just came from the B gates, this train will go to the A gates as well, but all the concourses are attached, so it's not that hard to get from the A to the B gates while you're already at the A gates. We'll then walk underground from the Foxtrot taxiway line over at Washington Dulles near the remote pad. Go underground as you'll see later, or actually as you can see right now. and we'll pop up above ground to where we will go to our gates to board our flight to Chicago on the Airbus A319. We'll be back later.
Pilot 2, killing Pilot 4.
Paging customer Mason for your 3 going to Cincinnati on United flight number 6068 if you're in the
bags that do not belong to you.
Attention in the camera, this is the last call for Montreal flight 380.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us in the boarding area, we are currently boarding rows 20 through 38, 20 and higher. Welcome. Have your ticket and items please available. If you're using a mobile device today, please be sure it's powered up and ready to be scanned. Our overhead bins today are very limited. If you'd like to check your bags through voluntarily, it's greatly appreciated. We'll check your bags to your final destination's bag.
Clear the pouch open, remove and unfold the vest. Slip it over your head, wrap the belt around your waist, and secure it into the buckle in front. Pull the loose end to tighten. Just before leaving the aircraft, inflate the vest by pulling down sharply on the red tab or by blowing into the tube. This aircraft also has infant life vests, which will be distributed if necessary. Smoking and using e-cigarettes or smokeless tobacco are not allowed on this aircraft. FAA regulations prohibit disabling or destroying laboratory smoke detectors. U.S. law also requires passengers to comply with lighted signs and crew member instructions. We'll be taking off soon. Please bring your seat back up, close your tray table, and fasten your seatbelt. Return your headrest to its original position, and food or beverage items must be collected, put away for departure. We'll be coming by to collect any remaining items. To further protect your safety, both flight attendants and customers are wearing protective covering on all United flights. In the event oxygen is...
As we taxi out to the west on taxiway Delta, I take a look one more time at Washington Dulles International Airport. The very airport that I pretty much grew up at, learned the ramp operations, and pretty much fell in love with aviation. Or, if I've already fell in love with aviation, fell in love with it more. I had some really good co-workers over at Washington Dulles. I can name almost every one of them that were on my crew. I worked various aircraft, starting with United Express, as my first aircraft I've ever touched was a CRJ-700, or a 701ER for you technicality people of aviation. My first aircraft was November 507 Mike Juliet. It was a flight that was going to Hartford, Connecticut, or BDL, Bradley International Airport. And that flight was operated by United Airlines under United Express. And then I moved up to Embraer 175s, and then played with a couple CRJ-200s as well as Embraer 145s. I then expanded my career at Washington Dulles and through Swissport, as I went from United Express to International for the summer of 2019, working on various aircrafts over at the International section like the Airbus A380 for Air France, or the Airbus A330 for Scandinavian Airlines, as well as Virgin Atlantic, the A340-600 from South African, the 777s from Air China, Saudi Arabian, and even Qatar Airways, before Qatar brought in their A350-900s, which I did not get to work on unfortunately, and the 747 as well from Lufthansa, and the Boeing 767 from My Austrian Airlines. All these different variations of aircrafts I worked on brought so many memories just walking through Dulles one more time. And then my favorite portion of Dulles, when I went to United Mainline to work anything from Airbuses to Boeings. Working Airbus A319s and 320s, as well as 737, 700, 800, 900s, Boeing 757-200s. I've yet to touch a Boeing 757-300 while I was at Dulles, as well as a 767-300, but not a 400 quite yet. I've also worked two 777 variations, not for United, but I did the 777-200 for United, but not the 300. And then I got to touch the Boeing 787-8 that came from Beijing on United. I didn't have a chance to work on the 9 or the 10, because as I was about to depart from United, the 10 was just starting to come to Dulles way more. But I got to do some inspections and other things with the 787-10. A lot of pictures, as you can see in the future, will show how close I even got to these planes, and what I've done with them. Being a ramp agent, especially at United Airlines, was definitely a treat. I'm so sad that I'm not able to work there at the moment due to COVID-19 and other issues, but I hope to be returning back to the work for United Airlines on the ramp one day. No matter where I am, United will always be my home, especially here at Washington Dulles International. We're taxiing down to the south as we're about to depart on runway 30 here at Washington Dulles International. We're going to take the westbound route to the north as well to go to Chicago's O'Hare International. Now, we did have a little bit of headwind, so every time you're flying westbound, it's going to be a little difficult because of that headwind. But every time you're flying eastbound, you'll always catch that tailwind, which will push the aircraft in the air more to gain a little more speed. You can find this on Flight Radar on pretty much any eastbound or westbound flights. Just take a look at the aircraft. For example, we'll look at an Airbus A320-200 series, right? Not a Neo, a regular 200, right? Let's say it's going from Tulsa to Washington, Dulles, for example, right? Because it's going eastbound, you got that tailwind that comes from the west, pushing the aircraft east and gaining more speed. Now, the aircraft was going back from Washington, Dulles to Tulsa directly and goes westbound. It's fighting against the winds in the high altitude, making the aircraft slow down. So because we're westbound, it's going to add just a few more minutes to our flight time than it would for an eastbound, not including the time changes. Until then, enjoy the takeoff. Especially listen out for the barking dogs, or the PTU, the power transfer unit, which is our hydraulic pumps on the Airbus system. Personally, they're my favorite hydraulic systems on any aircraft, especially on an Airbus. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Friendly Skies as we're aboard United Airlines Flight 2413 with nonstop service to Chicago O'Hare, Illinois. We're on an Airbus A319-132 series, November 8 and 904 Uniform Alpha, or aircraft 4894, as they say in the United Airlines system. We depart from Gate C, as in Charlie 25, and we depart from runway 30. We're expected to arrive at Gate Charlie 25 as well at Chicago's O'Hare, and we'll be arriving on runway 27 left. Now, because of the cloud accumulations, you will not be able to see the city of Chicago very well, as you've seen in my previous other flight videos on United Airlines. So far, our cruising altitude was at 38,000 feet as we're flying way above the clouds, and we had pretty decent headwinds at 433 knots was our highest sustained speed, which indicates that we didn't have that much headwind. I believe the captain said we only had 5 mile an hour headwind, so we were fighting the wind a little bit, but if there's no wind, we would have been going about 450, 460 knots, which is approximately almost 500 miles an hour at least. So, here's a little tour of the Airbus A319, as well as the Airbus A320. The only difference is the Airbus A320 is a little bit longer and has another emergency exit door over the wing. The Airbus A319 has one emergency door on one side of the wing. It's on both sides of the aircraft at least, so there's 2 doors, but only on one door on one side. Like the 320, which is longer, and will have 2 doors on one side as well, making it 4 over the wing exits. Now, we're sitting in regular economy seat just behind the wing, and I gotta say that the legroom is pretty decent, especially for regular economy. I didn't feel squished, however, my cowboy boots definitely were not a good pick. I recommend not wearing your boots or anything pretty big when you're sitting in an economy seat like this, due to the amount of legroom that you will have, especially if you want to put things below the seat in front of you, like I do most of the time as well. Now, the flight time pretty much was just over an hour from takeoff to touchdown from Washington to Chicago on flight 2413 as well. So the seat configuration is a 3x3. There are almost 35 to 38 rows on the Airbus A319, just the way the layout is spread. It's got about 12 first-class seats, 8 to 12 first-class seats, excuse me, and then I believe they have a good 10 to 14 economy plus seats as well. So the first class is sitting in a 2x2 configuration, and then the regular seats, the economy plus and the regular economy, will be in a 3x3. The Airbuses are actually pretty decently smooth because of their stubby wings as well as the body shape. So they're able to go through turbulence much better, unlike a Boeing, which their wings are just a tad bit longer, so it makes more flexible wings as well as just a little bit more turbulence. However, with those winglets on the Boeings, it definitely helps the aircraft fly a little bit better with reducing the amount of drag as well as fuel efficiency. The less drag you have, the more you save on fuel. However, due to weight and balance, you gotta have some drag, so that way you can keep your speed without stalling or overspeeding or overstressing the engines as well. And so I'm going to let you guys enjoy the rest of our flight into Chicago. One of 3 flights exactly, as we head back to Tulsa, Oklahoma, so that way we can report back for duty. So meantime, enjoy the rest of the flight, and especially enjoy the landing. Remember, we'll be landing on runway 27 left, and our arrival gate will also be Charlie 25, the same gate as we departed at Washington Dulles as well.
all devices. If you're sitting in the exit row, please refrain from plugging your device into the outlets. To help provide more space as you exit the aircraft, we will be changing our deplaning process. Once we arrive at the gate and the seatbelt sign has been turned off, please remain seated until we call your row to deplane. Thank you for your cooperation in keeping your fellow passengers safe. Also, please check your seat back pocket and the area around you to make sure that you have all of your belongings. Be careful when opening the overhead bins. Contents may have shifted during the flight. On behalf of United, our Star Alliance partners, and your entire flight crew, thank you for choosing to fly in from the skies with us. We hope that when your travel plans call for air travel, think of us here again at United.
As a ramp agent, I want to thank all my other ramp agents, and as well as other airport employees, cargo agents, ramp agents, customer service, etc., and security as well, for fighting through this pandemic as we're all trying to get through this COVID-19 pandemic stage together, as the airport employees are doing their best to ship all the COVID-19 vaccines, which are now coming out to the public for everybody, especially here in the state of Oklahoma as well. And we don't give we don't get credit at all for everything we do. We make sure that your flight gets out on time, make sure your flight gets in on time, make sure your aircraft is fully serviced and safe and flyable as we go through Chicago here as well. So again, I want to thank all of our essential employees out there for doing their best. And now for the ultimate surprise. Now, let me introduce y'all to my favorite wide-body aircraft in the entire fleet of wide-bodies, the Boeing 777, or the 777 as most people refer to. It's one of the largest single-level twin-engine wide-body aircraft in the entire world, and it just so happens to be my ride from Chicago to Denver, Colorado. I've worked 777s ever since 2019, and I gotta say, working 777s is so much fun. Just look how that loader approaches the aircraft, dialing whatever cargo is coming from the front compartment of that 777-200 series. Now, like I said, I've worked 777s ever since 2019, but this will be the first time I've ever flown a 777, and I gotta say, I'm so excited to be flying one of the world's famous aircraft, used for all kinds of accessories, and is used these days to transport COVID-19 vaccines from all over the country to all over the world as well, receiving all kinds of shipments and whatever comes through. One of these days, I want to give you guys a tour of what the 777 looks like, but that'll be another video for another time later on in the future. When applicable. We'll be pushing back from Charlie 20 here on our 777 as we are aboard United Airlines Flight 407 nonstop service to Denver, Colorado. This will be the first time I ever go to Denver, Colorado as well. The reason why I'm going there is because A, I'm flying the 777 to there, and B, I just want to check out Denver for once, one of United Airlines' other hubs as well as the home base of Frontier Airlines, which happens to be one of the airlines I work in Tulsa as well with Delta.
tampering with, disabling, or destroying laboratory smoke detectors. U.S. law also requires passengers to comply with lighted signs and crew member instructions. We'll be taking off soon, so please bring your seat back up. Close your tray table, fasten your seatbelt, and return your headrest and footrest to the original position. Food and beverages must be collected and put away for departure, and we'll be coming by to collect any remaining items. To further protect your safety, both flight attendants and customers are wearing a protective covering on all United flights. In the event oxygen is needed on today's flight, remove face coverings before putting on your oxygen mask. I'd like to thank you again for joining us. I'll be back with more details about the flight once we're here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind, if you have your electronics in the back of the seat in front of you, your iPads or your cell phones, they do need to be removed for takeoff and for landing. Thank you.
Personally, I gotta say that has to be the best takeoff I've ever experienced in any other aircraft that I have flown on myself. The 777 so far has my top rated views and is my favorite aircraft to fly of all time, topping the both CRJ 700, CRJ 200, as well as Embraer 175 and the Airbus A320, which were my favorite takeoffs so far. But now the 777-200 for United Airlines has definitely dominated, as now we're at 36,000 feet with a sustained speed of 475 knots as we travel eastbound. Especially catching the headwinds like we just did for takeoff, that was not bad speed at all, especially going into Denver, as we will be arriving at gate B as in Bravo 36 and arriving on runway 35 left. We took off from Chicago on runway 28 right, and we happened to take off short because of how surprisingly light we were, even though this was an extremely full flight, as this would be a pretty much 2-hour flight, a little bit less because of the less headwinds that we experienced to get faster speed. So now enjoy the rest of the view from this 777. I was surprised to note that on this particular 777, they had no in-flight entertainment screens or TV screens or any kind of charger really besides the outlet that was located below my feet, which didn't work really well. But luckily, if you have any iPads or smartphones like I do, you can easily put them on these little desktops here above, so that way you can use your in-flight entertainment from your personal device. Pretty unique, I would say. notice very, very closely, if you concentrate just to the bottom of the screen, you'll see little particles of white smoke. Not to worry, this is called a contrail. Basically, because we're so high in the Earth's atmosphere, and it's really cold up here, and the engines are constantly turning, right? Think of it like your car. Your exhaust coming from your engine is giving out little white smoke, or known as the engine exhaust. Planes have the same thing too, and depending on how cold it is or how high in the atmosphere you are, it can make the contrails thicker and longer, or barely visible and shorter. Because where we're at is very, very cold, as you can see all the snow on the ground below us as we're crossing over Idaho, we're going to have a really nice chemtrail, or a contrail, excuse me. There's no such thing as a chemtrail, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, just an update for you. In about 10 minutes, we'll be starting our descent into the Denver. The best thing people are trying to get about for now, if you need to get up from the ground, that'll be a good time to do so. And probably right when we start our descent, the seatbelt sign will be out in your first line. Thank you.
Another thing that I'd like to point out about the 777 that I've noticed so far is that you can see a little bit of the flap moving. Because we're on autopilot mode, that flap is going to keep us stable to make sure that our aircraft stays on the route or the flight plan that's plugged into the in-flight computer. So the reason why it's doing that is so that way the airplane doesn't veer left or right off of its course. So when you do that, you have a more stable atmospheric condition for the aircraft to stay on. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. That piece that's sticking out from the aircraft is called the spoiler, or the speed brake. The purpose of this is to slow the aircraft down to maintain or to slow down its speed. The reason why you need to do that is because we're on a descent right now, or even a rapid descent, so the aircraft is so heavy and the gravity is so rich that it's going to bring the aircraft down just a little bit more, and because we're not trying to use as much thrust, we're still going to gain speed. So in order to maintain that speed or slow the aircraft down more, we use the speed brake or the spoilers, so that way air pushes off the spoilers into the opposite direction to slow the aircraft down, to create drag to keep the aircraft at its speed or to slow it down.
Welcome to Denver, where the local time is 3:56 in the afternoon. You may continue to use and charge your phones and other small devices. If you're sitting in an exit row, please refrain from plugging your devices into the outlet. To help provide more space as you exit the aircraft, we have changed our deplaning process. Once we arrive at the gate, the seatbelt sign has been turned off. We're going to ask that you remain seated until we call your row to deplane. And we do deplane about 5 rows at a time. We thank you in advance for your cooperation in keeping you and your fellow passengers safe. While you are waiting, please take that opportunity to check the seat back pocket and the area around your seat to make sure you have all your belongings. And when you do open overhead bins, please do so carefully, as they may have shifted during the flight. If you are collecting bags here in the Denver area, you are going to get those from carousel number 16. On behalf of United Airlines partners and your entire flight team, it's been our pleasure. We look forward to seeing you on another United flight. And we wish you a Happy New Year.
Because we're flying a wide body, the bags are not spread out within the aircraft like it would be for on a 737, for example, where you can just throw the bags in the plane. Because this aircraft is much, much bigger and is meant for overseas, the bags are actually put in containers called cans, and they'll actually be transported on the ground on yellow devices you see there called dollies. Now the dollies will hold the cans so that way they can be transported throughout the airport or the airfield or wherever they need to go, so that way the bags can be dropped off or transferred again. In wide bodies, you'll see this quite often, and it's also how you transport cargo. However, in case there's no time to put bags into the cans, there's a rear bulk compartment in the back of the aircraft where you can put your bag. I'm pretty sure because I checked mine in the last second while I was doing my layover in Chicago, that my bag is there. Especially you'll know if it was in the rear bulk compartment, because your bag will be a little bit moist from your journey. This is my first time ever in Denver, Colorado, and I gotta say, the airport is so wonderful. You have the Rocky Mountains right next to you, the city of Denver is only 25-30 minutes away, and in order to get to the city, you have to travel by car, or, my favorite, by train. This airport is extremely luxurious, and has so many eats to offer, so many sights to see, even within the airport, and you have so many different airlines to come within, and it's even home to Frontier Airlines as well, one of the other airlines that I work in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, our next aircraft will be a CRJ-200. What better way to end the day and an extremely long and exhausting journey like this than a CRJ-200 that's going to take me from Denver right back to Tulsa, Oklahoma, especially since I need something that's really slick, small, and fast to get me there because I have work immediately as soon as I land there in Denver, as we'll be traveling on SkyWest Flight 5214 with non-stop service to Tulsa, as I gotta walk from the B terminal all the way to the A terminal, as our departure gate will be A as in Alpha 79. Again, we arrived on runway 5 left when we came into Denver on the 777, and this time we'll be departing from 34 left. We'll be taking off pretty much to the northwest, where we'll make a right turn all the way down south as we head towards Tulsa, Oklahoma, my home.
departure on Bellingham, please already cabin for departure, thank you.
the Mitsubishi CRJ200 is basically the toys of each airline, especially here for United Express riding on SkyWest. The CRJ200 is a little 50-seater, or what we call little jumpers, as they're known in the industry, little express flights as well, regionals, that will take you to little destinations. What's unique about these little aircrafts is that the door actually has stairs so you can walk on the plane, as you saw that we did earlier, right from the door, because the stairs are attached to the door as well, making entry and exit train very, very simple and easy, as well as pretty unique, so that way you don't have to climb up and down a jet bridge as well. However, those of you who are in a wheelchair, do not fear. What we were using is a device called the ADA ramp to get onto the aircraft, which actually will help you guys out a lot, especially those who have issues walking up and down the stairs, because the stairs are just a little bit far apart than the other stairs.
extra space in front of and behind you as you deplane. It did have a green tag bag, and you choose to wait in the jet bridge for those green tag bags. We also ask you please ensure you maintain social distancing standards and do not congregate around the door. On behalf of United, our Star Alliance partners, and your entire flight crew, thank you for choosing to fly with us today. We do hope you had a pleasant experience. We look forward to seeing you again on another United Express flight. Have a great evening here in Tulsa, or wherever your final destination may be.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to offer for part 2 of my extraordinary journey from Washington Dulles International, as well as Brunswick, Maryland, to catch up with my old friends and see some train action, and then to take my 3 wonderful flights, including my first ever Boeing 777, and my first visit ever to Denver, Colorado. Until next time in the skies, thank you so much for watching, and welcome to 2021, everybody. May I wish you guys a happy new year, and a happy good year as well. I know everything's been rough for us, and I know 2021 hasn't offered much hope as well, but I know we'll get through this together, just like we got through 2020 together. How worse can this year get, right? Ironically saying, thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in a future video.